Welcome to the Soul Call with Kelly B. I'm Kelly Butchart, soul medicine woman, energy alchemist, intuitive guide and change maker. I'm here to activate soul remembrance, unlock purpose and support the personal and collective evolution into sacred sovereignty. This podcast is a space for heart-led women to rise, to take their power back, to walk in truth and live elevated lives of joy, abundance and deep fulfillment. Through powerful conversations with visionaries, way-showers and spiritual leaders, we weave ancient wisdom, quantum healing and divine insight to awaken something within your soul. This is more than a podcast, it's a movement, a remembering. This is the Soul Call. All of my offerings, social links and ways to connect are in the show notes below each episode. Be sure to check them out. I'd love to meet you there. And please remember to like, subscribe and share. Thank you for being here. Hi everyone and welcome back to the Soul Call with Kelly B. Today I am so excited to share this conversation with you because my guest, Dominique Stelling, is such an inspiring woman. She's a transformational life coach, Buddhist Psychology Coach and meditation teacher, a motivational speaker, and the founder of Living the Pure State, a beautiful year-long program that helps people find inner peace, self-regulation, and sovereignty. Dominique has walked an incredible journey, and the wisdom she now shares comes from real lived experience. She supports people all over the world to tap into their own body's natural healing capacity, to rise above life's challenges, and to truly soar. She also leads her amazing Riding the Dragon programs, which I can't wait for you to hear more about. Dominique, it's such an honour to welcome you to my podcast today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you for that beautiful, warm welcome and introduction. It really touched me. I had tears for a moment because just hearing your voice speak about my work, my intention, my heart projects was very, very touching. So thank you for inviting me today. I'm so excited to
Oh,
be here.
bless you, bless you. This honestly is going to be, I already know this is going to be one of my favourite conversations ever, Dominique.
Oh, bless.
So, just to let the viewers and those of you that are tuning in today know that Dominique and I had a very brief but very interesting conversation, a connection call a few days ago. And your story, Dominique, has blown my mind. It's stayed with me because it's such a powerful story. And so I am truly blessed to have you on today to share your incredible story of your own lived experience and how you've used that to share your heart wisdom in service to others. So thank you already for everything that you are, because honestly, I can't wait to get into this
Oh,
today.
thank you so much. You know, we did have this instant connection and instant understanding of the essence of what we both feel is important, and having this as an invitation for others as well. And it is really such an honor to be able to come to speak about my healing journey from a 27-year chronic illness. And when people see me now, they go, "But you don't look sick." But I did show you a picture of when I was really sick and when I was bedridden.
Yes.
And it truly was that way. And it was through, I would say, almost 3 decades of being on this healing odyssey where I went really, really deep. I was granted, I would almost say, like a school of sovereignty in a way, an education that you can't just sign up for. It's something you had to go through. And it took me a while actually to out myself that I used to be sick, because I was a life coach and I wanted people just to see the positive and the healthy me. It was only now over the past several years that I have decided to sort of out myself in a way that I was really deep in despair and in the dumps and couldn't dress or feed myself at my sickest point. and went through this journey and want to speak about it now to perhaps help another person, inspire other people to become the medicine almost for themselves to heal all aspects of their life. And what I really would love people to think about themselves, and also if people who are listening who are going through a health crisis, that healing is not, as Louise Hay would say, the absence of disease. It is, in a sense, as many of us in the healing arts call the dis-ease. There is the dis-ease, but it is physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So healing is on many levels. And until I understood that, until I really understood that, the healing didn't really begin, because I was trying to eat healthy or take this medicine or change that about my life, everything on the external. And I will talk about it, the Western medical model, and Western medicine is amazing.
Mhm.
And I'm all for it. And I'm all for also complementing it. So we need both. But it's not just adding or subtracting something, a supplement or an illness. You are not incomplete. You have this incredible organism that is like a entire ecosystem that is influenced by your thoughts, by your emotions, by all kinds of things. And it depends who you speak to and what level you want to speak about. But you are influenced by so many things. And I became obsessed almost, wanting to understand, where do I have some space to experiment with how my physiology is responding to something? Where can I start to experience self-mastery? And that's how I began to slowly, slowly heal. And that's what I teach today.
Amazing. So everybody that's tuning in will feel the passion you have for this, Dominique. You've gone straight into immersing people into the wisdom that you hold. So we're already in the journey with you. We're already like, you've got us hooked. What to know, like, well, what happened to you? How did
Okay,
you get to this point? Because what you're already sharing is, look, guys, you have this incredible ability to, I mean, you're touching on sovereignty here, aren't you? It's like coming back to that self-empowered knowing that you can get yourself through anything, you can heal yourself. So thank you for starting off with that powerful message, Dominique. But let's rewind a
that's
bit
right.
so that, yeah, so because you do look so vibrant and healthy. I mean, everybody can see you like on YouTube just now looking this incredible goddess that you are. You are just radiating so much beautiful light. And for those of you that can't see Dominique, because you're tuning in, saying Spotify or Amazon and listening, you will hear the frequency of this beautiful soul's voice as well. But let's rewind back, Dominique, because it wasn't always like this for you. It has been a long and arduous journey where you have gone to what I would call the belly of the beast. You've
Yeah,
gone deep into the shadows. You've gone really into exploring the deepest, darkest aspects of your soul self to help yourself to re-emerge from that place. So if we go back to whatever point you wish to start at, I know that you started out life as, well, you had a passion for dancing, didn't
yes.
you? And that was kind of where things maybe um took a turn that you didn't expect. So I'll let you start your story from where it feels right for you.
Yeah, so it really was that life took a completely different turn. So I loved dance. I danced ballet since I was 3.5 years old. It's all I ever wanted to do. And I wanted to be an actress in theater, in musical theater. I loved being on stage. I loved being a performer. And, even in high school, when I wanted to sign up for another science class, my science teacher, bless him, he said I wouldn't recommend it. Like basically stick to what you know. And I was known as sort of the drama person. I now say the drama queen, but
I love it.
because
Own it.
sort of, my family lovingly to say that to me, but I wanted to be a performer. I loved being on stage. And so when I was 18, I went to America and I auditioned just for two schools, one for film, one for musical theater, because I was so focused. That's all I know how to do. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. And I got into a school, a theater school that was like the movie Fame, where you sang, you danced, you learned fencing, you learned theater arts, all kinds of things. I was in heaven. I loved it. I had finally arrived. But then from one day to the next, I was in a dance class and I did a deep plie and I dislocated both kneecaps at the same time. And the next morning, my knees were big balloons full of water. And from that moment on, I had to stop dancing. And this was really hard because I was in a highly competitive school where people were cut every semester and only a few graduate in the end. So I was pleading with the doctors, please, you have to get me well. I cannot drop out of this program. My career will be over. And that turned into a 6-year odyssey of going from doctor to doctor all around the world. Please help me walk again. Because being on crutches, not being able to walk on both legs was really, really difficult. And I became more and more fatigued as the illness, which we didn't know what it was spreading in my body. I then said, my God, what am I going to do with my life? It all has no meaning. I might as well not continue anymore because I don't know how to do anything else. And I remembered when, oh, it's making me emotional, but it's a beautiful thing. I'm not sad. I remember when I was 12, I was allowed to do a project at school, and I picked the Buddha. Why? I don't know. But that peaceful smile, there was something to it. And already when I was 12, I was really quite interested in this. Now, my mother is Catholic and I am half Asian, so I did have some exposure, but not really. So somewhere deep in my soul, I knew this was the path that I needed to take. So I remembered that. And I said, I think I need to study Southeast Asian religion and philosophy at Boston University and psychology. This is where I was doing the program, and start to understand how to overcome this, how to overcome suffering. And when I was 18, I began this path to understand how to cope with losing your life's work, everything that you thought you were. And on top of that, the pain was excruciating. I was misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia, with chronic fatigue syndrome, with myofascial pain dysfunction, and then in the end, reflex sympathetic dystrophy syndrome, which is an extreme pain disorder. And I had to wear a TENS unit with electrodes on my legs, where I would adjust the electrical current so I wouldn't have so much pain. So I could even wear pants because just touching the skin was excruciating. So I lived in this pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, physical pain. And I tried to make peace with it, tried to understand. It was only later, when I had already switched my major and was studying psychology and religion, had given up on dance. There was no way. There was no way. Where my mother, by chance, went to a talk on fibromyalgia in Florida, out of all places, because she was on holiday. She saw it in the paper and she went and she said, well, my daughter has all these symptoms, but she's much sicker, like much sicker. She can barely get up. And the doctor said, had she been tested for Lyme disease? And we had no idea what that was. And so she called me and she said, Dom, please get yourself tested. So I did. And the doctor looked at the test and he said, my God, did you have a tick bite? Do you remember anything that you had Lyme disease? I said, no, I've never seen a tick in my life. I have no idea. But as a child, I used to play in the forest a lot, a lot. So this was 6 years into it. By this time, for those people who know about Lyme disease, it goes into later stages. And so I was then between stage 2 and 3. And it was very difficult then to treat. And I realized now in hindsight that that was my kiss of awakening. So, as girls, we wanted to be kissed as the prince to awaken. And I now write about how this tick bite was essentially a kiss of awakening to study consciousness, to study mind body healing, and everything else that I have delved so deep into the last 30 years. And it was very difficult to treat the disease because it was so progressed. And at the time in the 90s, they only treated 2 weeks of antibiotics. They didn't know enough about it. So they treated me. I could walk again, but then I relapsed. And that state went on for 27 years altogether. And it was a very difficult path because there was a lot of controversy around the treatment as well. But I became sicker and sicker, actually. And there was that point where I couldn't dress or feed myself. I couldn't lift my arms, so I couldn't drive a car for 11 years. I couldn't run, I couldn't walk, couldn't go to restaurants, couldn't go to weddings, could hardly leave my house. I would lie in the back seat of the car in a duvet just to get to a doctor's appointment. If I was lucky, I could dress myself and shower, but then had to go right back to bed. And the pain was so bad that I was on, and this was hard for me to speak about publicly, but I was on a lot of opiate painkillers. So I was on the fentanyl patch. I was on all kinds of, actually 3 different opiate painkillers at the same time. And there came a point where the doctor wanted to put a morphine pump in for me to continuously be medicated because the pain was so severe. It felt like Rottweilers gnawing on my bones. And the disease had progressed to my spine and the brain. So they found the Lyme disease there as well from the spinal taps and so forth. So it was a long, long, long journey.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And on this podcast, I love to take people on a journey because it would be so easy to look at you, Dominique, and listen to you and just hear the vibrancy, hear the version of you that you are now and how you show up in service. And I don't want to ever take people back to re-traumatize them with, revisiting their story, but I feel in your case it's so important that you have shared that, and I'm so, so grateful that you did because the important bit, well, there's many important bits in there, but you spoke about hiding this and wanting to show up as a certain version of you to the
Yes.
outside world, but you spoke about the suffering behind the scenes, and now you feel able to come out and speak about the truth of that version of you for many years. And um, I can totally relate in so many ways, and I can really understand why, it's almost like if we speak into that, we're almost manifesting it and giving it airtime and making more of it. But also, it's some of us can maybe go into a bit of denial, like, we'll just
Yeah.
compartmentalize that part of my life, and I come on as a coach or as a teacher or as a head teacher or whatever your role is. You put the mask on, you show up for everyone else, and you just give, your heart service. But behind the scenes, you've described, what you're enduring is unimaginable for years and years and years. And then, of course, this whole, I suppose, life pivot. I mean, it's like a mini death and rebirth that you have experienced, and I don't want to minimize it by saying mini death, but it wasn't the end. And the way that you've described the tick bite being the kiss of awakening, it's like, oh my goodness, it just shows how much work you've done to arrive at that place, to look at it as a blessing, as a rebirth, as an opportunity to sit here today and to show up as your beautiful, authentic self, to share the journey, the aspects of yourself that you kept so personal and so hidden. Because many of us carry I don't know, shame or worry or, how would you describe that for you, Dominique? If you go back to what that journey was like, you described it as suffering. Why did you feel at that time that you were hiding that aspect of yourself away?
Because there was one key point, which is what I teach about now, is alchemy,
Mm,
is not going into separation with what you want and what you don't want. And that's where most of the suffering, and this is where the Buddhist teachings help a lot, is if you get into that state of wanting or not wanting something, you are in a split. You are in a divided self, in a sense, and you are creating tremendous suffering. And all I wanted to do was the pain to go away and for to have my life back, to be young, to be able to go to weddings and parties and the movies and restaurants and everything. I just wanted what was rightfully mine.
yeah,
And I felt like I pulled the wrong end of the stick and that somehow I had bad karma or I needed to do something. It was only now later that I understand it is the alchemizing this density and transforming it. And as Master Thich Nhat Hanh says, no mud, no lotus.
yeah.
You have to understand that it's not you want to get rid of the mud. You want to thrive in the mud. You want to transform it, transmute it for your highest good, for your soul development. And then you can see anything as an opportunity for growth and an opportunity to somehow gain something from it, some sort of a silver lining.
Mhm,
And that was the key that nobody taught me at the time. It
mhm,
was all about the illness,
mhm.
getting rid of the illness, overcoming the illness, 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 Lyme disease, Lyme disease, Lyme disease. Nobody really spoke to me much about healing
Yeah.
and what that meant. But also, nobody talked to me about transformation and
Mhm,
how you can embrace your challenges and see them as gifts.
yeah.
So I teach a lot about kintsugi, the Japanese art of healing the broken bowl with
Yeah.
gold,
Mm,
or crystals form rainbows after they've had a rupture in them.
yeah.
And I love teaching about this energy, or the lotus energy, or the pearl energy that comes from the irritant, from the grit inside the oyster. That's really what helped me in the end. But when I was 18, and when I went through that dark abyss, I just felt like I pulled the wrong end of the stick. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That I had bad karma, bad luck, and they were allowed to be happy. They were allowed to, but I wasn't worthy. I didn't realize I was being blessed the whole time.
I love, love, love how you have described all of that, Dominique. It's so powerful. And the beautiful analogies that you use are the same ones that I use in my work as well. So I just love it. So Kintsugi,
Yes,
I
yes,
talk about in my
yes.
Golden Gifts of Grief program, and
Oh, beautiful.
like the broken heart can be mended back together and be even more beautiful because we've allowed it to crack open and allow more
Yeah.
golden light to emanate from your heart. So, and the pearl, oh, I love all. So, thank you for sharing that because it's such an important point that you've made. And I know that in the client work that I am blessed to be involved with, and bear witness to my clients who often become friends, I have to say. Um, that's the conversation that we have. It's holding someone so, I think the word that's coming to mind is sacred, isn't it? So it's like when we make everything so about the journey rather than being the victim. There's so many of us programmed to go into victimhood and that I am the victim of this disease or my life circumstances or, whatever life has thrown at us. And that limits us in so many ways. We become that label. So, as you've described, it was all about illness, 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 and Lyme disease. But when we start to tap into the understanding of life happens for us and not to us,
That's
and like
it.
you say, the lotus cannot bloom without those deep roots forming and the soil, the nourishment and the nurture from the soil. So we have to go down before we go up.
Yeah.
And just like the tree, the roots have to go deep before it stands strong. And we are not separate to nature. We absolutely have to have the same strong foundations. And so it's just so beautiful to hear that you have gone through, and this is the only way I understand that you gain wisdom, is to have gone through this experience, to have lived and breathed it. This isn't something that you can pick up a degree in. Of course, we can enhance our experiences with knowledge and research, but you have really gone through the mud and you have blossomed as a result. So you are a living, breathing example of this journey. And for me, that's what gives inspiration and hope to others. It gives authenticity because you are showing up as that bridge for others. You're like, come this way. I have been on a journey. And for you to share this so beautifully today is, you're taking me on the journey with you. I'm just like, oh my goodness. And, you mentioned suffering, and I I believe that we're getting to a point now in humanity. I would love to hear your perspective on this, where I believe that we'll get to a place where we don't have to suffer anymore in order to come back to the remembrance of knowing how powerful we are. But I truly believe that many of the wayshowers and the trailblazers like yourself, the heart leaders on the planet, have signed up for a gig to say, okay, I'm going to have to take some of this on to actually
Yes.
show others and to be that living, breathing example of, you know, being a victim to anything is not the end, it's not your identity. We look how powerful we are as beings. So it's almost like you've signed up to go through this in order to be that living, breathing example. But I do hope and I do know in my heart that we will get to a point,
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know how long it will be, maybe several generations where we don't have to suffer in the same way because we will have evolved beyond that mental clutter. Because for me, it's a lot is about the thoughts that we hold, the programmed
Absolutely.
beliefs that we hold. So, what would your thoughts be about that, Dominique?
Yeah. That's so beautiful that you are touching on this, and also the work that you do, and this beautiful platform inviting people to talk about this is so important, because that really is the way for a peaceful future. And that is why my book, Living the Pure State, that I'm hoping to launch very soon, is about being that purity, and that purity of mind, purity of heart, purity of action. Because if we are in inner discord, if
Yeah.
we are upset, if we are tethered, then we are very reactive, and then we suffer. And the Tibetan Buddhism, they have a lovely way of describing the aspects of mind. There is the Rigpa and there is the Sem. And the Rigpa is that pure awareness, and the Sem is the duality mind. And it is really the suffering that occurs, as you said, in the thoughts. So think about it. Everything that you look at or react to or think about is, I like or I dislike. I want or I don't want. Oh, I want more sunshine. I want less rain. Oh, I like this coffee. I don't like this coffee. I like that person. I don't like that person. I want more energy. I want to be less fatigued. So
Yeah.
you're always
Yeah.
in this mind of the Sem mind, where you are liking or not liking something. So always in duality. And I love the card that you pulled for me on our first conversation was the non-duality
Yeah.
card, because that's really where our own inner peace derives from, is understanding and differentiating yourself from that aspect of mind. You need that. People say
Yeah.
this is the ego, kill the ego. No, you need it because that helps you make decisions, helps you to be present. But can you also parallel to that know that you have awareness, the point of neutrality, and you can witness yourself going through suffering? And in my courses, that's what I teach. So if you can hold yourself as the great mother, the loving, kind nurture, and accompany yourself going through suffering and discord, whatever upset you're experiencing. If you can carry yourself back home, it's kind of like you come back to yourself. That's really where the inner peace, I feel, derives from, is getting out of the mind
Yeah.
aspect that is thinking. So very simple. If I want to be a dancer, but I can't because my legs are injured, I'm creating suffering for myself. It is not the legs that are creating my suffering. And that was the turning point for me.
Yeah.
So I can be happy if I have that husband or if I have that job, then I will be happy. I'm creating suffering for myself. But if I can accept what I am going through, be present with what I'm going through, then I can actually maybe pick the cherries from this experience, because those cherries are there. But
Absolutely.
if you're only focused on, I want my health back, I want my husband back, I want that which is rightfully mine, I deserve it, it's my birthright. If you go down that route and things are not showing up that way, you're going to create a lot of suffering.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you've explained all of that. It's so beautiful. And again, just like, oh, relating to this so much. I also talk about, reparenting yourself and
I
bearing
love it. Yes.
witness as the compassionate divine mother frequency with unconditional love and compassion for your inner child, which is the purest aspect of you. It's the innocence of you. And I just love how you've explained it and brought in the Buddhist principles as well. It's just, honestly, this is just like so heart opening, this conversation, Dominique. You have touched on, the Tibetan Buddhism influence that has really supported you, and you went on to study and achieve a master's degree in Buddhist
No,
psychology.
no, not a master's in that. I was pursuing a master's in clinical social work because I
Ah,
wanted to work in hospitals and help other people who are going through illness, and be a medical social worker. But I had to, unfortunately, because of my illness, stop it after 1 year. So I never completed it. However, I got a certification in the Buddhist mind coaching, which teaches the Buddhist psychology through my teacher, Larampa Tenzin Kalden, who is a Tibetan teacher, a very revered teacher here in Europe. So I did study the Buddhist psychology and coaching with him, and also the meditation teacher training certification with him as well. And then also the Tibetan yoga healing, the Lujong, as
wow.
well. So I'm a certified teacher as well. And now as a Shine meditation teacher certification training, I'm in the middle of that as well. So I'm continuing on this path because I find it's not a religion, because I am a raised Catholic, but the Buddhist psychology, it's a study of the mind and the study of the self. It really is very helpful to understand yourself and to be the inner laboratory to study your mind. And I have found that through the study of the mind and being able to change my thoughts about something changes the suffering, which changes my biochemistry,
Mhm.
which brings more peace and coherence into my field. So my nervous system is less activated, because if you're in fight, I don't like him, he said that to me, she did that, and why is this not happening, and why didn't I get this deal, or whatever. If you're in that kind of suffering discord, that does something to your nervous system.
Absolutely.
So you can still be going through Lyme disease, you can still be going through a divorce, you can still be going through something difficult, but have a higher mind, a peaceful mind, a sovereignty within the experience. And that's really what helped me the most. And that has allowed me to reduce all medications. So from going 12 medications for the Lyme disease to none is really quite extraordinary. And I don't recommend that you go off your medications by any means. I just want to make that very, very clear.
Yeah.
I just started to notice that in my healing journey, and the Lyme disease is treated and complete, I now just have the aftermath of the stage 3 Lyme disease, which has caused tremendous nerve damage and my system to be quite difficult. I have learned to manage my symptoms with my own mind practice. And that is why I continue to learn from these masters. And I also have Tulku Lobsang Rinpoche, who's another amazing master who teaches the Tomb of Fire, is my teacher in helping me go even deeper as well. So I have been so blessed on this path to understand the mind and the inner elements. So
Yeah.
the Tibetan elements, the Tibetan Buddhist elements of, fire and wind element and water element and space element, and understanding that, as you said, we are nature.
Mhm.
And if you can learn to balance your internal elements, and I call this then riding the dragon. If you can master your inner elements, and I think I saw something you taught once too about your inner waters,
Mhm.
is that if you can master that, you can master any turbulence on the outside.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for clarifying, first and foremost, the studying that you've done, the pathways that you've followed. You are just so, I mentioned this already, so passionate about this. And, you had said that Buddhism isn't a religion. It's certainly very much how you live your life and how you experience life. And you've also dipped into there talking about, the thoughts and beliefs that we hold impacts the biochemistry of, this beautiful vehicle that we that we have inhabited. Our souls are taking this vehicle, this beautiful body with all the elements in it, through this journey to experience a human experience. And so how then we connect the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and physical becomes really, really profoundly important, because there is no separation in all of that. Everything influences everything else. And so this comes back to this alchemy that you spoke about at the start, where coming back to empower ourselves to know that our thoughts and our beliefs absolutely can transmute and alchemize our biochemistry and can change our lives. And you are that living, breathing example of that. And I've read and I wouldn't say studied would be the right words, but I've followed Dr. Joe Dispenza,
Yeah.
Dr. Bruce Lipton for many years. And it's so exciting to me to see how the study of epigenetics is being, for those that are skeptical, proven, scientifically. But the science is us. The science is seeing you, hearing the journey you've been on, and seeing how vibrant and radiant you are, and the passion you have to share this with others. Because, Dominic, I am absolutely putting you up there with the Dr. Joe Dispensers and the Dr. Bruce Liptons, because you are the living, breathing embodiment of these teachings. And I talk about us all being, masterpieces in the making, and the mastery, the level of mastery that you have achieved is just unbelievable. It's so beautiful. And You know, it's coming from the heart as well. You spoke about the ego, and I 100% agree. It's like we hear a lot about the ego being a bad thing, and it's absolutely not. The ego, we tame it and we keep it in check, but it's our shop front, it's our personality, we need our ego to drive this vehicle, to
Yes,
be present in this body.
yes.
And so I would love, love, love to hear more about how you work with your clients, because you touched on riding the dragon, which I would love to hear a bit more about, because I was born in 76. I'm a dragon, as you know,
Amazing.
and I work with dragon energy. So you also do retreats. You spoke about your book that's coming out there. It's just like, wow. So yeah, let's hear more about how you work with others to support them.
Thank you for, firstly for witnessing me and the journey that I've had. And I just, want to say I still have my human moments
Of course.
and I fall off my dragon, I say, but I get back on and I
Yep.
become better and better at it. And I'm still continuing to learn as much as I can about consciousness, about self-mastery and development. As I teach people, I am still in my own practice. And I think that's really important, because if you start teaching from a place of I know it all,
Yeah.
you can't really bring new experiences that you can teach about. And also just quickly, yes, Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, it helped me a lot. And it actually helped me to understand my own field coherence, to be able to get off the medication fully for myself, because I just was at a point where I just couldn't quite um, get that. And there was a really big moment. I actually have a testimonial on his website about it, where that helped me so much. And also, um, how I work with my clients now is teaching them how to bring more coherence into their life, to make them aware of their thoughts and their emotions, and to become the conductor
Yeah.
by living the pure state, how to become the conductor of your own inner laboratory. I call it mission control. Are you in mission control? Are you embodied in your vessel? And can you make the adjustments within you to change the way you experience your world? So a lot of time people say, oh, can you do a healing on me? Can you manifest something for me? Can you tweak the field so that I get the job, get the house, win the match, or do something? And I keep saying, change your own inner alignment and your own resonance to what is happening, and then things will just go into this beautiful synchronicity or go into alignment. But it's not that you need to change the outside. So I teach that to
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And I also had a marvelous teacher, Melissa Joy Johnson, who has helped me to understand how you can move your own consciousness, how you can be in playfulness with how you experience your reality. And that was a huge piece as well in how I now work with my clients as well, is to help them to understand that they can also change their lives from within their own mind, and how they can observe their own reality. So I do one-on-one coachings. So I'm an intuitive life coach. I also an energy healing facilitator, but I don't like necessarily saying I am a healer, because really I'm witnessing the healing in you and just guiding you and tuning into where I see the blockages, because I can hear and feel certain things. And being so ill and being in a silent space where I couldn't watch TV, read, or do anything, really allowed me to become very, very intuitive. And so all the things were stripped from me, actually, to not distract me. So there's a skill there that I didn't know that I had, that I now have, that I use one-on-one with clients. I also do group mentoring. So I teach something called 5 to Thrive, where in 5 weeks we really look at what it is you want to create, what are the blocks behind it, how can we create the remedies in your life, and then really move forward, and people have loved that program as well. And then the Riding the Dragon, which is an 8-module course. So this dragon wheel, this dragon medicine of self-mastery, how to learn how to be agile, how to learn to adapt. That really is something I love teaching. And I now bring people to Bhutan, the most beautiful, peaceful, coherent, harmonious kingdom. It's a kingdom, still with a king and a queen, a most beautiful country. I bring people to Bhutan for spiritual journeys, and I have partnered with BLZ Tours, a beautiful tour company that has contact and access through their own lineage to high spiritual masters. So we also receive incredible transmissions and blessings from masters and monks there. And it is an incredible experience to go there for 11 days, to ride the dragon in the land of the thunder dragon, and really connect to that inner bliss, that purity. And I'm actually taking a group now in September 29th, and I still have 2 spots. If anybody wants to last minute join, I can help to organize the visa. So yes, so I bring people on retreats. I teach at other retreats as well. And lastly, the Living the Pure State, which is now the book that I'm coming out with. Riding the Dragon will come later, because that really is more about the inner work. But the Living the Pure State are 12 alignments that I teach that have helped me to live from a place of harmony and clarity within. So to be able to balance your own inner world, to be sovereign in your life, to feel agency, to feel like you can have effect. And they're marvelous. I'm in the 4th year where I teach this once a month. It's like a mind yoga class. And the participants have joined now 4 years in a row. Can you imagine? And I think, like, aren't you bored already? And they go, no, they love it, because each month, and it's just an hour class, we align with the sword, with the mountain, with the still point, with the crystal, with the master, with the sage, with the dragon, with the council, with your higher self. And I teach these 12 alignments as tools that you can use every day in every situation. And I hope, of course, that this will become a beautiful card deck like yours, Kelly, so that people can use these alignments in their life. So that's really what I am so excited to bring out. Not so much my story, but more of how you can become the alchemist, how you can transform your life, how you can feel empowered, and how you can ride the dragon, and how you can live the pure state.
How beautiful and how full, you're showing up for others and all of your fullness. I mean, you are not holding back, Dominique. You are here to
Oh,
really, you know that you are here to make a difference in people's lives and have such a big impact. I so feel that from you. It's like we are on mission, we are going. And I mean, even the fact that you are, I mean, all of it's so beautiful, but you know, going from having been bedridden for so long and so ill, where you are now hosting retreats and facilitating these beautiful experiences for others to come home to themselves in Bhutan. I mean, I looked up the Tiger's Nest where you take
yes,
people, the monastery, and it's on the edge of a cliff.
yes, it is. And that's the riding the dragon, because what I say is, if you can work through your own density, where you're not drowning in your own emotional states, the dragon will carry you up there. And by the day 8, when we've gone through my 8 modules and the principles, you feel like the dragon is carrying you up. And it really is a miracle. I went for a medical checkup again, and the doctor said, I can't believe that you are taking people to Tiger's Nest up there 10,000 feet above seawater, or whatever the height. It's a miracle, from somebody whose legs were so thin that she could barely walk, to being able to do this. It really is a tremendous celebration, and I would love to invite anybody to experience riding the dragon in their life. And yes, I am so excited, and I feel ready to do this now. I'm 55. I feel like I've come through the 30 years and I have something to share. It may not be the answer to everything, but it's in a way a contribution to world peace, because I feel that there's so much discord now, and cancel culture and competition and discussion and war about what's right, what's wrong. I think this, you think that, we're against each other. And I would really love the contribution for world peace to be our own inner peace. And I know it sounds corny in a way, but truly, if we can show up as a peaceful cell in a way in this organism of humanity, that would be really my highest dream, highest intention.
I think you're living your dream, Dominique, and helping others to experience the miracle that they are. You know, we are miracles in the making, and the more conscious um, awareness we bring to the super abilities, the superpowers that we hold, my goodness, you know, how amazing are we all going to be? We're going to be, you know, so sovereign and, like you say, so agile and so adaptive and so at peace with ourselves, just as you describe, where we are no longer codependent on others. We're no longer codependent on big pharma. And I know it has a place for sure. We're no longer
Yes.
codependent on anything outside of ourselves. We don't have to outsource because we have found it all within ourselves. And I just really want to honor you because I feel like symbolically, the tiger's nest, you know,
Yes.
that to me is like what's happening internally, and then you're allowing others to experience that externally as well. And I just think that's the icing on the cake. It's just absolutely immense.
It is because I had Tiger's Nest on my vision board in my mind movies all those years as one day, but it was impossible. I mean, the doctor said, you can't, there's no way. And I just always held that vision. And I realize now it's not necessarily a destination, it is a spiritual vision. This, this tiger's nest within yourself. And I call these journeys now the inner Bhutan. I want people to experience the inner Bhutan and to help people to find that within themselves. And that's why I also love your podcast so much, Kelly, because you are inviting people and guests to speak about their journey, their lotus path, every single guest that you have. And that is an incredible inspiration and contribution for humanity at this time, to listen to your podcast, to listen to all the episodes, and to hear these stories of transformation as an inspiration for others. It's beautiful,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that, Dominique. That means so, so much to me. And yeah, it's something I'm deeply, deeply passionate about is we need more of this, you know, in the world. And I don't have a big following yet, but hopefully, you know, we can make a difference with that. But even if it's like one person's life
Yes,
is changed, the
yes,
ripple effect of that,
oh
you
yes.
know, one person tuning into this episode saying, oh my goodness, I'm going to get in touch with Dominique. I'm going to work with Dominique. I'm going to, you know, go and sign up to a retreat. You know, it's, or I'm going to put that on my vision board. Yeah. And I am going to manifest that miracle in my life. It's just the ripple effect of that, because when one person is changed, then for me, that then is felt in the field, and then everybody's lives around that person changes as well. That is the ripple effect. So it's just so beautiful what you do. And I would love for you to share where people can find you, Dominique.
Yes, so my website is www.dominiquestelling.com. And there you will see all the different offerings and the different courses that I have. I'm also on Instagram, so it's Dominique underscore Stelling underscore life coach. So you can also find me there. I also have an Instagram page, Living the Pure State. And yeah, if you would love to join one of the Living the Pure States, where each month we do one of the alignments, just private message me and I'll send you a guest link. I always love to welcome people to try it out. And yeah, I also have conflusations where I would love to invite you, Kelly, on my Instagram live conflusations. Not quite a podcast yet,
Yes.
but we'll see. Yes.
I would love to. That would be such an honor. Thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing
thank
everything that
you.
you have
Oh
today,
my
Dominique.
gosh.
And what I'm
Really.
going to do is I'm going to pop all your links down below this episode so that people can find you easily as well. And before you go, I would love, you mentioned my Oracle deck, and I know that you have one in your vision board as well. It's in the making.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know, I
Ah,
have my own Oracle deck, the Soul Call, available on Amazon. And I would love to pull a card for you and all the beautiful viewers and
oh, I love
those of
that.
you that are listening today to receive in your hearts today. So let's just see what message wants to come through. Oh, beautiful. Celestial embrace, Dominique.
Oh, beautiful. Look at that card. Look at all the light around it, the gentleness, the energy. They're just tremendously beautiful cards.
Beautiful, isn't
I'm
it?
so I'm so excited for mine to arrive soon. I ordered. So,
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. So, this is about angelic love and support. Let me share this message with you. In moments when the weight of the world feels overwhelming, remember that you are gently cradled in a celestial embrace of angelic love and support. The divine beings are ever present, surrounding you with their tender care, their energy a soothing balm for your weary heart. They enfold you in their wings, offering whispers of comfort, peace, and reassurance, reminding you that no matter what you face, you are never truly alone. Feel the warmth of their divine embrace like a soft, radiant glow wrapping around you, lifting your spirit and quietening your mind. In this sacred space, your worries and fears are gently taken from you, transformed into light and love, leaving behind a deep sense of serenity and trust. The angels are here to guide you, to lend their strength when you feel you're slipping away, and to infuse your soul with a renewed sense of hope, compassion, and unwavering love. Open your heart to their celestial presence. Surrender your burdens, allowing the angels to carry what you no longer need to hold. Know that you are infinitely loved, supported, and protected by these divine forces, and that every step you take is guided by a power greater than you could ever imagine. Trust that you are wrapped in divine grace, cherished and nurtured by the angels at every moment. Take solace in knowing that whenever you feel lost or overwhelmed, you can always call upon the angels for comfort. You are never alone. Each step of your journey is woven with divine love and care.
wow. Beautiful message. And
Oh,
to have you read it in the energy that you hold, it was a healing in itself. I mean, I don't know about the others who are listening as well, but I just felt just enveloped by just this love and hope and gentleness. And this is an incredible card for everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah, and coming back to that knowing that we are never alone and that, we are the co-creators of our reality, right? So
Mhm.
it's not like we're kicking back and feeling helpless in our lives and all the angels will take care of everything. The angels are there to love, support, and guide us, just like the Divine Mother does. And so when we spoke about,
Yes.
reparenting ourselves and bringing the innocence and the purity of the child, this is all happening within us. It's coming back to be that compassionate observer of ourselves and seeing ourselves through these challenges to really bloom and blossom and become so sovereign in our lives. You know, we have a choice. We can be our liberator or our own jailer, and the angels are there to guide us every step of the way if we make that decision to go through the journey and be all of who we came here to be.
I really would have needed that card. The 18-year-old in me would have loved to have received that reading, that card to help me, to carry me through those years, those decades actually, where I like to say that people are on their own hero's journey, you know, from their soul perspective, that they're here to grow. And it's like a Netflix series, what happens season 3 and season 7. If you see yourself as the protagonist and embraced by spirit itself, then you can go through all the things that you're going through, knowing that it has a higher purpose and that you're being held, like the beautiful card, you're being held by spirit, to go through it, and you're okay. Even though you don't feel like you're okay, there is benevolence. I believe in benevolence.
Yeah.
Your card really shows that the universe and spirit is benevolent, even though it feels rough sometimes. There is an embrace. You may not see it, but it's there. And so your card is amazing. I love it so much. Thank you. Thank you for
Dominique,
reminding us.
this has just been such an amazing connection, and I know that we will keep in touch. It's just
Yes.
been so wonderful to have you on today and to share not just your story, but how you are being the most truly authentic, masterful version of yourself in such a heart-led way, you know. So thank you for everything that you've shared. Thank you for everything that you continue to share with others and for making this planet, you know, just beautifying it with being who you are.
Oh, thank you. Likewise, Kelly. Really, I mean, it's been such an honor and a blessing to meet you and to be here, to speak to you, to have this opportunity. Thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, to you and to all the listeners. Thank you so much for letting me be here.
Amazing. Thank you, Dominique. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Sending you all lots and lots of love. Mwah. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Soul Call with Kelly B today. If this episode spoke to your heart, I'd be so grateful if you'd take a moment to like, subscribe, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. Your support truly means the world, and it helps this message ripple even further. And if you're feeling called to explore more of my work, my latest offerings, sessions, and ways to connect are all in the show notes below. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, keep listening to your beautiful soul. With so much love, Kelly.